Welcome everyone to another startup and automobile documentation. What we have here is a 2023 BMW X5 xDrive45e. This X5 is painted in Alpine white. It does have comfort access or smart key for all four doors, but as you can see, it's unlocking when I just walk up to it. On the key fob, you have the buttons for lock, unlock, power tailgate release, and panic. You of course have storage of bottle holders in the front door panels. You have your fuel cap release right here. This switch will power operate the tailgate, and obviously power windows, locks, and mirrors. You also have power folding mirrors. Two-person memory settings for the driver's seat. This one has the cognac interior color scheme, and the seats are trimmed in BMW Sensafin synthetic leather upholstery. Both front seats are fully powered with power side bolster adjustments, and then the driver's seat also has four-way power lumbar support. And you also have manual thigh support for both seats. But now that we've stepped behind the wheel, let's go ahead and power it on. Today, BMW has a wide array of SUVs, from the entry-level X1 to the flagship X7. However, BMW's first ever SUV model was this, the X5, which launched for 2000 and as of the 2025 model year is now in its fourth generation. Now one of BMW's best-selling models, the X5 is a mid-size luxury crossover, and in BMW's lineup could be considered the SUV equivalent to the 5 Series. Starting in 2008, BMW began selling the X6, which is a spin-off of the X5. It is mechanically the same, but in coupe SUV form with a lower, slopier roofline. This 2023 model represents the fourth and current generation of the X5, codenamed G05, which made its debut for the 2019 model year. It rides on BMW's cluster architecture platform. A year later, for 2020, the third generation BMW X6 debuted as well, which is codenamed G06, and of course based upon the G05 X5. For 2024, the G05 X5 got its LCI, or Life Cycle Impulse, which is BMW's term for mid-cycle refresh. The LCI included a revised exterior, a revised interior with an all-new curved gauge cluster and infotainment display, and some notable powertrain and trim level updates. The G06 X6 also got the same LCI for 24. But anyways, that of course makes this 2023 X5 a pre-LCI model, so onto the 23 X5 proper. So the US market 2023 model year X5 was offered in numerous configurations. First up, you had the sDrive40i and xDrive40i, which got their power from a 3-liter turbo inline-6 engine with 335 horsepower. The xDrive45e, as seen here, is a plug-in hybrid, and it pairs up the same turbo inline-6 engine with an electric motor and battery pack for a combined 389 horsepower. The M-Performance M50i gets a 523 horsepower twin-turbo V8, and the high-performance X5M and X5M competition use the same V8 but with more power, a respective 600 and 617 horses to be exact. Standard across the range is an 8-speed automatic transmission. By the way, the G05 X5M is actually codenamed F95, not G05. So it has a fully digital instrument cluster, and there's a lot you can go through. You can display your G-force meter, radio info, range, etc., trip computers, your real-time horsepower and torque, as you can see. And then in the settings part of the infotainment system, you can go to displays, instrument panel. It'll show you converted speed from miles to kilometers. Additional info, you can take that on or off. Reduced mode, so it just kind of shows less. Speed limit assistance, whether or not you want that. And then the central display area, have a route preview, or you can just have it be map view, as you can see. So it has a 4-spoke design, heated, leather-wrapped, and multifunctional steering wheel. As for controls on this side, you have your cruise controls. You also have speed limit controls. Then you have your audio controls on this side, and of course your Bluetooth and voice command buttons. Paddle shifters to manually shift the transmission. The steering wheel is power, tilt, and telescopic. And the button to heat the steering wheel is right here. Storage, all of your exterior lighting controls. You have automatic lights, parking lights, fog lights, all that good stuff. Tweeters for the sound system, climate vent for the driver, nice wood grain trim. Then on this side is your high beam and turn signal stalk. You can also go through the info display with this one. Then on this side, you have your wiper stalk. Do have auto wipers. So going down the center of the interior, you have your iDrive touchscreen infotainment system. We will go over this system more in a bit. You have your central climate vents, hazard switch. With this button, it'll bring up your intelligent safety menu on the infotainment system. So you have your forward collision mitigation, lane departure. You can adjust the sensitivity of that stuff, blind spot detection, steering intervention, all that good stuff. Below that, you have dual zone automatic climate controls for the front and ready frost, temperature for either side. Bring up the menu for the climate controls. And this thing even has heated armrests. Heated armrests. That's luxury. And then speaking of heated things, you also have 3-stage heated front seats controlled on, well, either side right there. You have some physical radio controls, volume, power, tuning knob, presets, seat track. Behind this cover, you have some storage. There's a wireless charging pad, USB-A port, some storage, cup holders, power outlet. Right here is the electronically operated gear shifter. We're in park. Push the button, go up for reverse. Putting it in reverse reveals a wide array of cameras. You have your backup camera, but then you have your overhead camera as well. Then down into drive, you have a front view camera, and then you have like a 3D view. 3D view of the vehicle. As you can see, excellent array of cameras. Your backup assistant, auto parking, I mean, this thing's loaded with tech. And then car wash, if you're driving into an automated car wash where they want you to line it up under the tracks, it'll let you do that as well. And then this camera button right here takes you here as well. Now, surrounding the shifter, first, and by the way, these buttons are all kind of haptic feedback it gives you. So your traction control, camera, bring up your, parking sensors. With this button, it'll bring up your battery control. But anyways, behind the push button ignition, you have your driving modes, so sport, and within sport you have standard, individual. You configure it so you want the suspension to be sport mode, the steering to be comfort, etc., that kind of stuff. Then under hybrid, you have standard and Eco Pro, electric, standard and individual, and then that adaptive I believe hybrid is basically the normal mode. The electronically operated parking brake is right here, along with your auto brake hold and hill descent control. And then over to here, this thing has air suspension, and with this switch you can raise or lower the suspension of the vehicle. And then right here you have physical controls for the iDrive infotainment system if you don't want to use the touchscreen function. But right now we have center console with some storage and a USB-C port, and the glove box is lockable. Both sun visors do have vanity mirrors and LED lights. Auto-dimming rear view, overhead lighting, passenger airbag indicator, roadside assistance, panoramic sunroof. It's all one-touch automatic. And there are grab handles for all four corners. Alright, so I suppose we will take a look at this infotainment system in this 2023 X5. But we'll select media, AM, FM, and Sirius XM, Bluetooth audio streaming as well. Also have Spotify built in. And then we can click over to sound settings. Communication. Kind of get the point right there. There's the home screen. You can configure that. You have several different home screens. One was a nav map. This one, the date, compass, and yeah, it's all configurable. Navigation. Here is the map. The navigation map, very responsive. All your points of interest. Gas station maps. If you're like gas station map, pick one right here. You got a Shell station. So there's lots of map settings, but I think it's a pretty easy to use system once you get used to it. And like I said, this is a brief overview. I won't be able to cover every last thing in this vehicle, especially with the infotainment systems. But then on to car or driving info, so you have your trip computers, trip data, sport displays, your power and torque, G-force meter, driving style analysis, X-view, had your ride height, energy flow monitor. You can bring up your owner's manual, plan your charging, vehicle status. You can check your oil level, tire pressure monitor. Then you have your owner's manual. And then apps, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can log into My BMW, software info. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff in this infotainment system. And then we can go back to that home screen right here. You can swipe down to configure the main menus, that kind of stuff. Notifications, help. Let's look for keywords in the owner's manual, valet parking mode. All sorts of stuff in this system. But now we'll roll down the driver's window and have a look at the engine bay. All four windows are fully automatic. And I believe the car turns off if you open the door. It just turned off, so I believe it just automatically shuts off. You don't even have to push the button. Just you're in park, done driving, get out, and it's off. This one has 20-inch 5 split-spoke alloy rims. The xDrive45e's powertrain is comprised of BMW's B58 3-liter turbocharged inline-6 gasoline internal combustion engine, a permanent magnet electric motor, and a rechargeable lithium-ion battery pack with 17.1 kilowatt-hours of usable capacity. Total output for this car is 389 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque. The transmission is an 8-speed automatic with a manual shifting mode, and power is sent to all four wheels via BMW's patented xDrive all-wheel drive system. On a full charge, you get about 31 miles of pure electric range. Meanwhile, the gas engine runs on premium unleaded with an 18.2-gallon fuel tank. EPA estimates are 19 mpg in the city and 22 mpg on the highway, and a combined 50 mpge when running on pure electricity. It has a double wishbone front suspension, a multi-link rear suspension, four-wheel disc brakes, along with air suspension. Curb weight is roughly 5,672 pounds, and the xDrive45e can tow up to 5,952 pounds when properly equipped.
Now, new BMWs can be fun to make fun of, namely looking at the M3 and M4 with those weird-looking kidney grills, but the X5, at least this one, still has kind of a traditional-looking kidney grill, and it looks pretty nice. Get in, push the button to turn it on. Roof rails. Bottle holders and storage. Split folding rear seats. Both front seats have mat pockets in the backs. Got nice USB-C ports right here on the back of the seats. Coat hooks right here, LED lights. Rear passengers, of course, get their own climate vents. And in fact, rear passengers get their own set of climate controls, making this tri-zone climate controls. Actually quad zone because you have temperature on either side of the back, different zones, auto, fan speed, max AC, and you even have 3-stage heated rear seats for both the outboard passengers. And you also have a folding center armrest with 2 cup holders and some storage. These seats are, of course, beautiful. The brown with the diamond quilting, stitching, perforation. It's a beautiful interior. As for space back here, I'm about 6'1" with the driver's seat in a pretty comfortable position for myself. Legroom and footroom is pretty good. Seats, again, are nice and comfortable. It's nice having your own automatic climate controls back here, plus the heated seats when it's cold. And headroom is also really good, even with the panoramic sunroof. Again, it's a mid-size luxury SUV, the second biggest SUV BMW has. So I'd expect a pretty roomy back seat, and that's exactly what it delivers. Dual exhaust, rear wiper, and of course you get a power tailgate. It is 2-piece, like a clamshell setup. And with this button right here, you can even lower the air suspension, make it easier to load items in the vehicle.
Cargo space in the X5 xDrive45e is 33.1 cubic feet with the back seats up, and 71.2 cubic feet with the back seats folded down.
Right, here's your charging cables. for that plug-in hybrid system. 12-volt outlet, hook, you can kind of sit on the tailgate right here. Nice having that option. And the fuel cap is on the passenger side. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2023 BMW X5. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.